Hey guys, welcome back. What I'm going to talk about today is the tactical reload, or tac mag as we call it. So first off, I'm just going to talk about the specific weapon manipulation that is the tactical reload, and then after that I'm going to go into a couple of sort of how it fits into the tactical environment. So as with all these weapon manipulations, this is not a complicated thing, but it's important that you get proficient at it, because you need to be proficient at your weapon, you need to be proficient at weapon manipulation so that you can get your head out of your weapon and then you can focus on situational awareness. And that's how this plays into being effective in a tactical environment, when you're concerned about team tactics, when you're concerned about an environment where there are enemy, etc. Okay? So we get good at our weapon manipulation so that we can pull our heads out and get into some good situational awareness. Understand what's going on around us. So at basis, the tactical reload is simply topping off your magazine. So what it means is you've had some kind of a reason to expend rounds from your magazine. That situation is over. Whatever that situation is over. It doesn't mean, you know, it's time to go home for tea and medals, but at the end of the day, you've got what we call a lull in the battle, or some kind of situation where you have an opportunity to top that magazine off. So what you're going to do is, your safety's going to be on, because you've already broke the weapon down from whatever you were doing, and now you're going to be scanning. Okay, so the way we work this is, what we're going to do is we're going to bring the fresh magazine to the weapon, and you've got to figure out what way is best for you. For me, I like the L shape. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that magazine there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the magazine release, I'm going to rotate, I'm going to put the fresh magazine on. I'm then going to get this magazine and I'm going to put it away. That's it. I'm back up. Okay, that's it at a very basic level. That's all a tactical reload is. Remember, what we're going to do is we're going to bring the fresh mag to the weapon some kind of way. Now what you can also do is, if you're pretty good at this and you don't really have to look at your weapon so much, then what you can actually be doing is scanning as much as possible as you're doing the reload, just maybe taking glances at it to make sure everything's okay and putting the magazine away. And I'm still scanning as I'm doing this. Make sure that when you put the fresh magazine on the weapon that it clicks into place. Be really embarrassing to fire that one round, then the magazine falls off the weapon. Okay? Usual stuff. Push, pull that into place. So that's it. So for those of you with short attention spans, hey, time to go. Move on. Alright? What I want to do is talk about a little bit of the tactical application of that. So we've already talked about how we're going to have a lull in the battle before we do a tactical reload. A tactical reload is a little bit slower than, for example, a combat reload, which is my last video, where you're shooting your magazine dry, dropping the mag off, getting a fresh mag on, boom, and you're back in the fight. What we're going to do here is we're going to bring the fresh mag to the weapon, and we're going to ensure there's no leaving the partial magazine on the ground. We're going to ensure we recover the partial magazine, whether you put it into a dump pouch, wherever you're going to put that. So it's a little bit slower, so we've got a little moment to scan around before we do this. If, when you're doing this, you fumble with the magazines as you're doing the drill, so let's say I'm doing the drill, bring the fresh mag to the weapon, and I'm, fumbling it, whatever it is. Maybe sometimes what can happen is, make sure you don't put 31 rounds in the magazine, is I put the magazine in and maybe it's not really going to click into place, and I'm like, I'm really going to have to tap the bottom of that magazine. What you can do, priority of work here, is simply drop that magazine, tap that, make sure it's good, and then just pick up the other magazine and ensure that you put it away. The other thing we need to consider here is we're not all going to be tac magging at the same time. So if we're working in our buddy pairs, what we'll do is we'll talk to each other. So we finish whatever we're going to do, we're going to check that we're all okay, we're then going to say, hey, I've got a tac mag, or do you need a tac mag? Yes. Okay, alright, tac mag. Do it, I'm back up. Tac mag, I'm back up. The other guy can go. Meanwhile, what we're doing is everybody is scanning their sectors throughout this, keeping security. If we look at this further, it depends how much time and what the exact situation is when you're actually doing a tac mag. You could literally be in a support by fire position for a little while. You're told to move on. You do a tac mag just to make sure you've got a fresh mag in the weapon. Police up your empties and move. It may be something like that. It could be tac magging between going from one room to another, so that you're always going to go to the next room with, as you fired into the next room, then you're going to go in with a fresh mag. You don't want to be running dry as you're doing, for example, CQB. There's lots of reasons why you're going to do this. What you also want to consider is which magazine you're going to do the tac mag with. So, you're doing a combat reload, you're going to go for your ready magazine. You're going to go for the quickest available magazine. If you're doing a tac mag, then really, depending how much time you have to do this could also be tied in with a reorganization of your gear and a reorganization of your magazines. So I've been doing the demonstration by grabbing my ready mags down here. But if I got a little moment, you see the way I got my ready mags down here and I got some mags across my chest. I could even do this with spare mags that I have in a backpack. Maybe what I should do to do the tac mag is go for the hardest magazine, the one that I would go for last. What I could do in that situation is if I do the tac mag with this magazine, okay, what I could do is, knowing that this is a partial now, what I could do here is I could put it in the other way around. Gives you a little bit of a clue. So you go in, and you're like, hey, it's a bad day now because now I'm on my partial magazine. It's just something to think about. What you might also want to do is maybe get spare magazines from your backpack or whatever, replen your immediate gear. The other thing you might also want to think about if you've got time is if you've got stuff in a dump pouch, then what that's going to do, especially if it's partial magazines, it's going to clank around. So take a moment, get that stuff organized. If you've got bandoliers or whatever, get it refilled. Get anything you don't need in your backpack. Make sure you're squared away up front. So what that is a quick look at the very basic manipulation that is a tactical reload, and then just going through some of the actual tactical considerations that allow this to fit in its proper place within team tactics. What I'll do now is a very simple demonstration. I've done it before on the logs behind me. I'm just simply going to get behind the logs. I'm going to go through and just tac mag. There's no one to talk to out here, so I'm just going to say, hey, I'm tac magging, and then I'm back up. Let's go look at that. Okay, basic mechanics of a tactical reload. Okay, first I'm going to break the scan down. I'm still keeping an eye on what's going on down there. And it looks like it's all good. So I can kind of relax a little bit more and go into a kind of larger scan of the general area. Okay, so this is now my lull in the battle with whatever I dealt with just down there. So what I can do now is actually go for the tactical reload. So if I'm with other people, I'm going to say, hey, tac mag. And let's say in this example, I'm going to go for that hardest magazine. Okay, and I'm going to bring it up. Still scanning as much as possible. Flip it out. And then put that magazine in. The wrong way round. I'm back up. And keep scanning. So let's say something else happens. And here we go. Okay, I broke the weapon down, put the safety on. Looks like that guy's down. Alright, that's good. Okay, let's look at a general scan. Alright, I'm going to do the tac mag. Back up. And scanning. Got the idea? Pretty simple. Thanks very much.